Interesting day in the session today. Do you want to speak to the issues that were raised?
Well, Tony, it's always interesting in the Senate, but obviously when you have hot button issues such as healthcare that comes up, when we found out that there were some challenges with the government health insurance program, and we spoke about it, you know, government's got to come out spinning and slanging because they're concerned. They don't have a record to run on, so they got to stand up and act like nothing's wrong. I appreciated your comments because I thought your comments did a good encapsulation of what went on there.
Yeah, I don't think that that the government has a monopoly on caring for the hardworking civil service. I think that we all have a responsibility, the opposition in particular, to make sure that their interests are protected. And if there are concerns that are raised, then we are obligated to look into them.
But I found it laughable they were asking for apologies. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, why would you apologize when you stand up to speak from the heart because you care about what's going on with people? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And the thing that I've noticed over and over again with the current government is every time they get backed into a corner, they always want an apology about something. Look, the facts will come out in this thing. And as you know, I mentioned on the floor of the Senate today, a lady called me and told me about her appointment on Monday morning where she had to pay up front because of challenges with the health insurance. I didn't make this up. She called me, and this lady told me, Michael Dunkley, never apologize because you are speaking the truth.
That's right.
And
That's right.
you know, the unfortunate thing about politics is, you know, sometimes the crunch of the matter gets lost in the to and fro back and forth.
Sure.
But I think we have to be comforted by the fact is that this inactive status, where a customer is told to go see the employer, has finally been cleared up. Without us speaking out, it might have never been cleared up in the quick time that it did, and then the people can go get the insurance they need. So I think it's important. The One Bermuda Alliance has always shown we will stand up for the people, and we continue to do that.
Absolutely.
Kick off.
Senator Fay got pretty heated today in the Senate. Do you want to expand on the points that you raised?
Yeah, what I was looking at today is the government accused the OBA of lying. They have made comments in the press that the remarks we made in relation to this whole health issue were scurrilous. I wanted to point out and make it very clear to the people of this country that the very statements that this government makes are in fact scurrilous, and many times have been proven to be absolutely false in themselves. I raised the issue today about PLP candidate Leroy Bean. On the one hand, the Premier made a statement to say that she supports Mr. Bean.
That's right.
And on the other hand, we're hearing from sources from within the PLP that she in fact does not support Mr. Bean. That's scurrilous. I also raised a number of other issues in relation to various statements they've made on debt, the use of money that they have had in relation to that debt, and the dismissiveness and the attitude that they have in relation to the debt burden. The statements they've made in relation to that are scurrilous. I wanted to point out as well two things that have happened in respect of comments made about the leadership of the OBA. We heard from the PLP chairperson, Anthony Santucci, in a statement made to the press that Craig Cannonier claims he is in charge of the OBA. Craig Cannonier is in charge of the OBA, and he is the democratically elected leader of all the membership. Let's face it, no one is out to mislead or deceive. There's a democratically elected leader. Statements that say claim are misleading and they're false. Second, the Premier of this country has recently said, I think it was Monday's paper, querying whether people are attacking the PLP because they are a black government. Her words, not mine. Nonsense, I say. The attacks that are being made on the government in relation to their fiscal improvements is a direct result of reports from the Auditor General. And finally, I made a comment in respect of comments from the PLP that the OBA is the UBP. I pointed out that the Tourism Board itself is a who's who of ex-UBP members.
Right.
And I pointed out that two members
In the Senate.
of the Senate that are PLP used to be UBP members. The PLP has to be very careful coming up to not throw stones at glass houses. That's politics at its absolute worst, and the country deserves better than the PLP.
Absolutely. I think the interesting point here, and we should end on this, is that it's not the difference between the OBA and the UBP, but really what the difference is between the PLP and the OBA.
Exactly.
That is what the people need to think about in terms of making their decisions and
Correct.
voting.